Hello, people. It's your boy Galaxia Twins 780, and I have returned from the long pause of Rant series, sort of. Considering all the COPPA and FTC bullshit that has a new shitty policy, minding my own business, etc. that I literally haven't made any videos. Well, except for recent videos about in a nutshell shit. Not that I was about to run out any idea and zero how to come up with the different ideas through videos. At least I'll work on it and make first random videos. As the long, some bullshit COPPA came out of nowhere and put kid video that has nothing do with it, even for the option of not for kids no matter what. In matter fact, instead of using Microsoft Sam I don't feel like, I decided to find something new and use natural reader voice for this rant and possibly reviewing on something that happened on that bullshit. I may or may not get other voices, regardless. Some voices sound like plot argon they used, but whatever I decide to use either Zira or David's voice. For now, I decide to use Zira's voice for the first time. Now, I wanted to talk about is that one video is kinda cringed, can't talk loud very well while music is playing, and gibberish. You may ask me which one exactly? Easy, it's the fucking the Loud House Fandom. Yes, I made that shit in a couple years ago. But I wanted to explain this godoffel with be more specific and why I can't stand these man-children. And for the record, the Loud House Fandom is my biggest shitlist fandom just like majority nostalgia brats, the cartoon community, the Smash community, etc. But this one is beyond toxic now. Because this show is so overhyped for unwanted bullshit shipping, a popular character, minor or not, and unwanted stuff that no one asked for, pedophile, review poser, and the list goes on, thus kills my interest for me. So, let me tell you something. I used to love this show when this show came out 3-4 years ago. It's been my favorite show that I have the gain interest and thought it was better than some Nicktoon show. And now? I lost my interest and find this show is a painfully unfunny and boring ass cartoon as recently. Well, not boring as a lot of shitty cartoons like Teen Titans 2003, Breadwinners, Mad Series, Pig Goat Banana Cricket, etc. Regardless of one of them is already beaten dead horses. If anything, I already lost interest in a cartoon that cartoonable will definitely kill my interest and ruined for me, as I said earlier. Anyway, that not what I'm talking about the conclusion. I'm talking about the fucking fandom. Right now. Oh boy, this is gonna be long ass videos I know. Oh boy. People are so obsessed with the Loud House and rarely change the subject like 24/7 and give people a fucking headache. Literary, this show only premieres since 2016 and somehow got popular the way people flat out saying the Loud House is saving Nickelodeon with no proof or anything, thus view this show as S-tier god list. Like hello? Since when the Loud House saves Nickelodeon after bullshit fart humor, unfunny, and other shit? Considering it dead-ass dork age and some unfunny show that no one likes and flanderization shit before Loud House show up, then it's sort of not unwanted that some Nicktoon is not that great in the slightest. But, am I supposed to approve and praise that shit? Well, no. I ain't praising for that shit, considering this show is far from saving and made it worse than usual. Not only that, they hate other Nicktoons show for the pettiest reason and won't give a show a chance. Or sometimes ignore that shit. I heard Welcome to the Wayne got ignored due to obvious reason about a bullshit pale copy of Gravity Falls that has nothing do with it and hasn't bothered to do any research to think it is. And then got this show cancelled because of this. Since then, they have a bone for this show and act like they don't exist. They also bone for the main character the way most of the characters are decent design, personality in stereotype way, and other bullshit I know. It seems most of the character is unlikable and unfunny characters, believe me. Like, Lori is a typical phonyaholic teenager who constantly spends time with her boyfriend, how much obsession boner and overgrown woman babies she is. Lenny is a ditz character stereotype is also unfunny and bland. Luna is a rocker stereotype, even she only character I like her aside for an obvious reason. Luan is an unfunny prankster that none of her jokes or prank is funny to me. Lynn is an athlete stereotype who is bone for sports and annoying sisters like older ones. Lincoln is supposed to be a civilized and sane man that he middle child, but it looks like he is bland character and a selfish piece of shit who made me lost interest in him, even for butt monkey status excusably. Lucy is a typical goth stereotype that is nothing alike and looks like a creepy child. Maybe she a goth, wannabe, or not an at least likable character like Luna, but that isn't cut it for that one. Lana is a tomboy's stereotype who enjoys being dirty, and it's gross as hell. Lola is a brat that she irrationally bogged to death whenever pageant's content didn't win and typical princess wannabe. And Lily is just a baby. Do I have to say about her the way I have no thought about her, unlike most of them? Nuff said. I don't give a shit about character development that it remains unlikable as shit, no matter what people said and shovel it down the throat. And they don't take really lightly or kindly when someone hates this show for any reason. All the fan brats will attack you, accuse of shitty taste, block you like a retarded wussy, etc. and show they don't handle a different opinion like a bitch. Is that what it is? See this show as a god and accuses of shitty taste who don't agree with them. Wow. It sounds like to me that people are brain dead retard who zero clue what definition of opinion and contradicting themselves when they use I respect your opinion bullshit like gotard. Like grade A pathetic as fuck if you ask me that people ignore and hate other shows for a shitty reason. You know they're better Nicktoon show than just Precious the Loud House and overhyped way too much for the littlest thing I know. And it's called Nickelodeon, not the Loud House channel bullshit. And that the problem, no one listens and they focus on Precious Loud House and still won't budge for it. I know they are brain dead retard who either hit their head when they were little or teeny tiny brain and cannot congratulate from school or anything due to obsession boner. And which is why I left this godawful fandom in a 10-month ago. And it's bullshit. That been said, the Loud House is nothing to be saved and leaves some Nicktoon is to ignore the way they give a zero shit and no sign of improvement. So, why they didn't care about it. So, I wanted to talk about in much further, but I'm not about to repeat myself that causes me to recycle script like a robot. Let's talk about bullshitting memes and stolen images. So, where do I begin with unfunny screenshot reaction memes? It appears to be bullshit memes that people tried to be funny when dead-ass fail miserably with annoying fill-in screenshot reaction. Apparently, since the show premiere, they unimaginably make screenshot fill-in meme and took the fuck over DeviantArt shit and probably other social media. At first, it was funny that point to think it and kinda accurate. However, after that shit is starting to getting repetitive and flooded everywhere, I hate it and made me not do this anymore, which is I glad I did. The people were making untalented screenshot memes of the Loud House are ready to see things mad at loud sibling, the loud sibling will stop things, etc. Of course, some screenshot meme used for either little kid character and flash or villains and made themselves generic V and community wannabe. Moreover, it has a shitload of screenshot memes with same shit in over and over and over and over and over again. And which is fucking annoying. The dead-ass people randomly make screenshot reaction memes almost every day and never stop or anything. It's like generic V and people who still make grounded videos through repeating the same idea and same shit all over again. Maybe it wasn't repetitive as unoriginal grounded videos though, but still. Screenshot memes are unfunny, irrelevant, and unoriginal. Is anything that has to do with retarded screen capture and crop that shit than usual? Did I forget about the screenshot is also dead-ass copyright infringement? I'm sure that shit is a 99% chance to terminated for copyright considering stolen image that gets serious trouble. The screenshot is not only one, but the frickin' stolen image is also low tolerated against TOS. There's one dude named Darren Rosario who makes a lot of stolen image and no fanart or anything. I coulda sworn this guy get his account termination due to copyright, but apparently, it didn't and none of them call this guy out and see him as professional artist. And how that has so many watchers despite he downloads the photo from other sites and post DeviantArt. That said, the bullshit memes is unfunny, cringe, irrelevant and other blah 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 as I said before. You get to the point why I hate screenshot reaction meme and contain copyright shit anyway. So, this is fucking DeviantArt not Deviant Screenshot, you brain dead screenshot meme maker. Here it is. The fucking review poser who treat episode like it's the spawn of Satan and end of the world. You know what I mean. Some episode contains mean-spirited, lack of writing, disturbing content, and so on that way review poser does. Speaking of which, here the most hatred episode, no such luck, brawl in the family, one of the boys, it's a loud house, the greenhouse, making the great and most of all, kings of the con. Well, I'll be talking about the one that involved Lincoln torture porn, sibling fight even it was minor ones, and obviously, mean-spirited with brawl in the family and no such luck. Look, I don't like these episodes either due to dead ass out of character moment, mean-spirited, cringe-worthy plot, etc. If you asked me, it's painfully unfunny the way this show is too cringe and irrationally childish as hell. Something they got mad for littlest things whenever sibling fight in a minor and no straight up abusive way. A couple of older sister got into a fight for the littlest thing when they brought the same dress. Lincoln tried to solve the problem when that shit causes more problems the way he butt in when they the ones who butt in themselves and make a shitty solution and refresh everything somehow after he left. So, people treat this episode like it's a serious disaster and view as Lincoln torture porn and sibling fight in an abusive way nonsense. Does it have something to do with an abusive sibling when they aren't do anything inappropriate and possibly torture porn shit? I do agree that sister fight protocol is fucking ridiculous, the entire episode makes no sense and pointless as hell, but there no need to throw a fit and treat like it's the end of the world, bruh. Just because it was minor fight, it doesn't mean you have to go apeshit about it and flat out saying Lincoln's abuse bullshit. Another thing is they have a huge hate boner for no such luck the day episode came out and still hasn't lay off for 3 years. Most of the review poser copy and paste that critic does, agree with everything about the episode, or Olen is my shit list after this episode. Not even they give a zero shit about her flimsy character development that she's still unlikable, which I kind of agree just like I said earlier, but I don't have to attack her and wanted to express to say I don't like her. Not even bullshit recent episode that she remains unlikable to me, no matter what everyone said to think she'll improve and being too obnoxious sport bitch. Aside from that, while it's true that Lynn did cross the line by accusing Lincoln of being bad luck and turn almost everyone against him because of this, Lincoln isn't bothered to tell her off and play along with it, so he gets away with unwanted activities from Loud sisters. Then it's backfired. Like, if he hasn't taken the blame and not to play along, none of the shit would happen and Gain loves no such luck instead. Either way, that what they beat to death toward this episode and never stop, no thanks to Lincoln Loud ST or whatever the fuck you wanted to call them. And there a lot of shitty fanfic out of no such luck where they either set on dead ass lovely dovely bullshit, revenge FIC by killing them, rape them, and on and on. Holy fuck. The fanfiction site is the biggest toxic community as Twitters and Tumblrs or just me. I swear these people legit make hate fanfic about her that Lincoln wanted to revenge and do something disturbing. Good lord, do I have to express that fix fanfic is given me brain cell decreased. Not literary. All the fix fanfic doesn't make you any better or professional, it make you childish and unoriginal. Get over it, you delusional asshat. And talking about bullshit nice sisters versus mean sisters status quote means nothing anymore that people take too seriously and the load of Lincoln ST combine. Like, bruh, that shit is old news now, and they're nothing nice or mean about Loud siblings. Knock this shit off, would you? It's kind of remind me good users and bad users terms of generic V and community the way people are abusing that word and view them as superheroes and supervillain in real life nonsense. It might they get mad and got into a fight in minor for littlest things I know, but as much I hate to say this, that what sibling does. That all it is. Because they chew him out for his bullshit or something that happened like that does not mean automatically hate him and no right to treat them like they spawn of Satan whenever it comes to minor fight, heat argument, and so on. That what family do? Well, except when people use it to get away with it and don't know the difference. It's too bad Lincoln Fantard, nice sister and mean sister believer and reviews poser still living in the past thus continually bash episode to death, especially no such luck and make retarded fix fanfic today whatsoever. It won't. Oh boy. Here is the painful and disgusting type of thing about fandom. The incest, or should I say loud cest, is one of disturbing pairing since the show came out. Literary, I saw some people decide to draw sexual and romance artwork out of siblings themselves. Incest is gross as shit and it's ain't right. So much for people claims it was incest is wincest to think it all cute pairing. None of that shit is cute or anything, that is fucking gross. Hell, they also ship Lincoln with his mother, Rita. Like, what wrong with you? Parental incest is biggest fucked up and made me puke to death like hell. The parent is supposed to raising kids and look after them, thus, parent and children relationship, not romantic relationship nonsense. Loud cest is exploded all over the internet like wildfire, including DeviantArt. Alright, let me give some detail about Loud cest. The one most popular. Lincoln, ship name of Lincoln Loud and Lin Loud Jr., is the popular Loud cest ship since Space Invader came out and thought it was cute in a sexual way and another bully and victim pairing. And hell, even for Lin got a lot hated for an obvious reason. After no such luck, they still ship them to no end, thus prove they were contradicting themselves. They're the one comic of sister and brother that based on Space Invader but something else through adaptation, which Lin asks her brother to sleep his room and awkwardly share a bedroom and why she did that. I'm not going show you the rest of the comic because that shit will flag me for pornography, so you have it look for yourself and witness disturbing content. Next, their second popular Loud cest ship of Lincoln and Lucy, where they have a different personality and make it look like nerd fall for the goth stereotype. Something they realize Lucy is 8 years old and yet bones for her brother and act like lover under their skin. It kind of makes sense that has a different personality and opposite pairing the way it looks like Raven and Beast Boy pairing wannabe. Regardless, it all platonic and brother and sister relationship alike. And lastly, I think Lewin Coln, ship names of Lincoln and Lewin, is the third popular Loud cest. The only one they like it because of typical bullshit Yandere stereotype and probably after funny business. And they somewhat similar personality, but not entirely. The rest is either neutral or unpopular, but it's the same thing, no matter what. For extra, there is a typical stereotype Yandere character with Lewin, Luna, and Lola with the cringe-worthy comic. Let's say that one of them will kill anyone who dares to interact with Lincoln, platonic or not, and it contains rape in one comic. I can't go even further, that is the most fucked up and disturbing comic, just like fanfic. It a wonder people stopped watching this show because of this entirely. And worse, it has a shitload of child porn as well. I don't give a two shit about if it fictional, even for non-canon age up for that shit, pedophilia is still pedophilia, no matter what. Speaking of which, one of them tried to age up in order to backlash for that shit and make it look like they're the adult with no official adult design from canon show. I already tell these sick fucks defending it and proved they secretly fans of child pornography, thus discarded any statement and jerk off underage children all day and night. Age up doesn't work that way, not one bit. I heard about Unimaginably Season 5 where one of the kids moves to a different school and leaves one older sister head to college or not, thus doubtfully that shit is age up in canon ones, but fanon 1 won't do shit and view as child pornography. That way, both incest and pedophilia are painfully disturbing as hell. I recommend you get thrown in an insane asylum or prison if you support pedophilia and flash or incest. I don't care much for incest pairing, especially for a sibling, but like I said, it's disturbing. What else can I get? Maybe people were bones for underage, see them as wafa bullshit, sexualizing them, and that goes on. Time to move on, thank you. Alright, time to talk about shipping that I don't like. So, I'm not talking about Loud cest again, so I don't have time to repeat myself. Instead, I'll be talking about the most overhyped bullshit shipping with Ronnie Coln, Saluna, Luagi, etc. But I think Ronnie Coln, Saluna, Luagi, and Lincoln's harem ship is the one for this topic. I was gonna talk about a shitty ship in much further, especially CLYNN, but I won't say it again, that gives people a headache and zero clues what to say. So, Ronnie Coln, ship name of Lincoln Loud and Ronnie Ann Santiago, is the most popular ship the day save the date premiere that people's huge bones for them and worship like they second coming of Jesus. This pairing contained bully and victim cliches bullshit that people view them as tier list ship that has nothing do with it and nothing special about it. On Save the Dates, he is taken to a restaurant for a double date after he unintentionally tells them off that he find her gross and annoying and lick the bathroom floor then kiss her, thus hurt her feeling, and Bobby dump his older sister for an extremely retarded reason. They eventually get along and reconcile for a short time before the same classmate came out of nowhere, thus Lincoln tried to leave the restaurant, but Clyde just flew off and got caught. He legit to say the same thing before and got break up for the second time, so he immediately to speak how he feels and apologies for what happened. And then they kiss, and that one hell of exploded from obnoxious shipper out there. How cute they really are. Sarcasm end. And honestly, I don't like Save the Dates considering woman babes Lori randomly attack him for destroying her relationship with Bobby for hurting Ronnie Ann's feelings, but that not the one. It's because of cliche, cringe, and lackluster visuals. If I was her, I'd rather call him out for his bullshit and make up to her like a civilized and polite person. The same goes for Bobby, that at least be more specific to reason why they break up with someone, that is someone abuse or threatened younger sibling or whatever reason, unlike actual show for littlest things. Since then, they constantly beg for Ronnie Colen to be canon to no end like a baby, even they have their own show. Therefore, Ronnie Colen shippers take zero kindly or lightly for people who don't agree with them and hate this pairing for any reason. Let's say if you hate Ronnie Colen for the various reason without abusive pairing shit that has no proof or anything, they blame and accused of shit taste and not a true fan's status quote, thus blocked you like a retard. And sometimes accuse you a fan of loud cest that you don't like and attempt to report you for having a different opinion. That show Ronnie Colen shipper is a huge ass hurt shipper who doesn't handle a different opinion and jerk off bully and victim pairing bullshit. That is why I hate overhyped pairing who literally killed everyone's interest in worshipping how much they care about. Hell, I even used to like Ronnie Colen, that I thought it was adorable, but I lost interest and find this shit cliche and too overrated for obvious reason. I'm pretty sure Ronnie Colen shipper give a zero shit about the plot or anything, they just focus on the bullshit relationship and jerking off fanart like 24/7 all over social media. I wish people just shut up about their precious Ronnie Ann and overrated ship and change the fucking subject so people won't give an extreme headache and start hating this ship because of the obnoxious fanbase. As for Saluna, ship name of Luna Loud and Sam Sharp, I don't have a problem with this pairing the way I only like this pairing and well-written and chemistry LGBT pairing unlike most of them. Just before Sam shows up, they constantly label Luna Loud bisexual and taking way too seriously that they treat like fact and shovel people's down the throat whatsoever. When L is for love come on, they immediately praise like their favorite sports team won the game the way Luna revealed to be bisexual that she falls for another female named Sam at the end. It kind of makes sense that Luna comments about she smokin', thus leave that to ambiguously bi like TV tropes logic before it all confirmed. So, headcanon extremist begs a writer to make it happen, or they riot like a bad monkey, thus, people wanted to see Luna's sexuality how much attention-seeking they really are. Since then, people were overly worship and jerked off this pairing like 24/7 after this episode came out. And just like Ronnie Colen shipper, none of them take too kindly when people hate this pairing for whatever reason without discrimination. Like, whenever express a negative opinion on Saluna, they not only was blocked and accused of bad taste but also accuse you homophobic. It is me, or SJW are too retarded to realize that having a different opinion toward same-sex pairing does not make them homophobic unless if it discrimination. Just because they don't like Saluna for a reason, it doesn't mean they're a homophobic dipshit. Learn to the difference between having an opinion and discrimination, p-brain heterophobic SJWs. It doesn't help when people discarded statement that they tell them off for their stupidity and flat out saying not a true fan if they don't ship Luna and Sam. Therefore, they constantly attack Javi Suzumiya, which I don't care much about him before I saw his fuck up the picture, for not shipping Saluna and like Sam Colen. Something they make crop and photo and edit that looks like Scrabbles like 5-year-old with Photoshop and it's bullshit and childish. They even call Luna Loud lesbian constantly due to send a letter to Sam Sharp in one episode, although she did fall for Hugh once and seems like people don't give to shit about it, thus proved to be bisexual erasure. By the time Racing Hearts came out, people were masturbating between Luna and Sam and praise through the entire episode. At some point, people constantly flat out saying Luna and Sam are couples the way people treat like fact and attack anyone who said it's not canon and flash or just friends. Regardless, I saw the post and ask about which pairing you prefer. If Saluna is canon, it could be at least extended episode and make the first kiss scene that social justice warrior will squeak and screaming my ears to death and some sane fan genuinely surprised and civilized. Or maybe set on series finale and confirmed just like Princess Bubblegum and Marceline while making sure good written and it'll be all set. I don't know. Let leave in questionable, considering blind fuck shippers still treat this pairing like fact and official couple that have zero proof or anything and do little research or have company revealed the answer before they blurt out. Luagi, ship name of Lewin Loud and Maggie, is another overrated ship that social justice warriors bones for this pairing. Basically, since Funny Business came out, this pairing is somehow popular and exploded like wildfire all over the internet, especially Tumblr and DeviantArt. It's all Kyaterum and Bunny Absentia whom drew the artwork for a multiple time before and people joined the party for obvious reason. When Benny shows up and found love interest for Lewin, they typically hate him for a shitty reason, how much butthurt heterophobic Luagi shipper they are. Just to be fair, I don't care for Luagi in the slightest, considering Maggie has no personality or anything all the while she is popular somehow due to her design whatsoever and straight up opposite pairing. I don't have a problem opposite pairing when it comes to romance, but at some point, this pairing looks like sibling alike, not blood related, just bromance. And the only one you hate Benny and Lubenny or whatever the fuck pairing called because of either interfering or lust for LGBT pairing is a shitty reason to hate something. You literally take headcanon way too seriously and treat like a fact to think Lewin being lesbian that has nothing with due legacy. You can like her all want with retarded explanation because of edgy or fanwork bullshit because that won't make your precious Luagi become canon and Maggie multiple appear when you beg too much. It makes you childish and coward when you blocked them over opinion. I know Luani or Lubenny has potential pairing and well written if only for focus on Lewin and Benny in a bit further, unlike clichés pairing. And lastly, the cringe-worthy ship that 11-year-old pair up with the entire cast, including his sibling, allies, random people, etc. It kind of makes sense that it has a shitload of loud sisters and one boy in the entire cast and makes it look like harem wannabe the way Lincoln is a typical pimp wannabe. Aside from that, I have no problem multi-shipper, considering I actually multi-shipper myself. However, people were taking way too seriously and treat Lincoln Loud like he's a pimp like I said earlier for once. You know Lincoln is fucking 11-year-old, right? Or maybe they were too busy to lust Lincoln being shipped with everyone else to no end and jerk off like 24/7. I've seen that they ship Lincoln with not just his sisters and Ronnie Ann, but also Christina, Maggie, Carol Pingree, Haiku, Stella, Girl Jordan, and the list goes on. And hell, they ship Mrs. Johnson. Anytime they saw the new female character, they unimaginably ship him to no end. I will not say it again because it will recycle the script and ran out the word I'm saying. That said, all the pairing is overly worship and kills everyone's interest the way they only care about ship more than plot just like weebos. Let me tell you something to think it's all about Ronnie Coln and other overrated ship you loved. You know this is the Loud House, not the Romance House that is a fucking slice of life series and no sign of romance drama cartoon nonsense. Which I don't understand why people were so obsessed with pairing and excited for littlest things when it comes to pairing theme unintentionally. Just because they were overhyped and zero clues what plot all about. Brain dead retard learn to one true pairing is not that important and focus on plot, so I don't want to end up with Voltrons and Star vs. The Force of Evil's fandom due to obsession shipping. Okay. This might be a controversial explanation of why I add toxic fandom of this show. Listen, I don't have a problem with LGBT that I genuinely surprised that Clyde's parent, one main character, and her girlfriend's sexualities and all. But something they typically overdemanding that has nothing do with legacy or anything and take a goddamn seriously. People treat LGBT headcanon like absolute fact and act like dead-ass canon, believe it or not, only implied or so. Let's say for example, when Lin Jr. has a jockstrap for some reason, they randomly label as transgender without giving a single second thought. Like hello? Women can wear a jockstrap for protection, so why are you label her as transgender, huh? I've seen some people label Lana Loud of transsexual despite she is 6 years old. I doubt she is transsexual because she is a tomboy personality stereotype and no sign of it through legacy. They also claim Lincoln is transgender just due to cross-dressing in the episode when he tried to go with them through Take Your Daughter Day. Listen, just because someone used cross-dress for disguise, it doesn't mean it automatically transsexual, so quit treating as such. Luan is labeled lesbian where they claim she prefers girls with no proof or anything. Or sometimes label her as bisexual but rarely bisexual and waiting for Maggie to be her partner before L is for love shows up and not going to say that again. Something they take headcanon too seriously and attack anyone who doesn't agree with them and accuse of LGBT phobic in headcanon. People really learn to what headcanon used for, especially transgender, and don't shovel other people's throat and view them like it's canon bullshit. Not to mention, since it has 3 LGBT people or possibly 4 so far, they worship to death the way rejoice for littlest thing and constantly demand build more LGBT theme through headcanon that may chance to pander propaganda just like Steven Universe. And I'm not going to repeat myself about Luna and Sam that I already covered, but you know, maybe it could be at least decent chemistry relationship and well written if wasn't for typical heterophobes social justice warriors came out of nowhere and give sane LGBT supporter bad name who either shovel opinion down the throats, accused of homophobia, etc. It's a wonder why the LGBT community is so toxic since someone tried to accept pedophilia as pedosexual to think it harmless and discrimination of heterophobes and cisphobia, thus contradicting themselves all the time. Well, kinda has nothing do with the toxic fanbase, but I decide to give detail about Chris Savino's fantard who overdemanding like a bad monkey. Chris Savino is known for the creator of this show who works so hard and gain this show popular where people flat out saying save Nickelodeon to prevent them from becoming dork age despite that shit is a load of unfunny, gross humor, etc. Then, he got fired due to the sexual allegation rumor and kicked out of Nickelodeon's company. At first, I thought it's probably just a scam and bullshitting lies that have nothing to do with it. That is until it officially fired, and the statement is all true, according to the article. Good to know who his childhood creator got exposed for his true nature and destroy his entire career that he just works here. Not just way it is after he improved from the seasonal Riot of Dexter's Laboratory and the Powerpuff Girls. Ever since Chris Savino fired from this show alongside Nickelodeon Company, they went a hell of Riot, and though it was about to cancel this show despite the Loud House is still ongoing due to obvious reason and beg for the creator to come back that have no intended to. And what ironic about is that the guy named John Kricfalusi, who is known for Ren and Stimpy, is fired for scatological humor, brief cursing and other and then treat one of an employee like shit. And later shown to be a sexual predator in underage female employees and everyone lose respect for him and won't be bothered to work any animated studios and some shit for his true colors. Meanwhile, despite they saw his true colors, none of them don't give a single bat an eye and forgive him immediately. Like hello? Well, of course, people were fucking contradicting themselves and praise him to death. I'm pretty much Nickelodeon's company made their own decision that none of them gonna rehired him after everything he has horribly done to them. It also makes kind of sense that this show is still ongoing for obvious reason, as I said before while one of them is a big fat no believe it or not being cancelled themselves or so once the creator is fired. You know, I don't care much for Chris Savino before I view his real personality under his skin and made me drift away from that piece of shit. I kind of glad he is long gone now because he deserves much worse than usual. Again, it has nothing to do with shitty fandom at some part, but I thought to give more detail about the unnecessary spin-off and upcoming movie. The fucking Chris Savino before he got fired, just magically make a bullshitting movie. I thought it was dead-ass scam that people were fell for it and went riot, but they legit confirm, and people went overhyped because of this. Speaking of which, I actually used to gain the interest of this movie and see all about, but considering that show only premiere and greenlit that fast, then yet it unnecessary and unwarranted. I don't know why they did that aside popular reason. Well, of course, because they wanted to overexposed to death and catering toward fanbase whatsoever. So then, when the creator got fired, the movie got delayed and postponed the schedule in the theatrical movie. At first, it seems movie got delayed so it won't be bothered to see the unnecessary movie, the people seemingly overdemanding and overhyped to death like hell. It announces sooner before the greenlit upcoming film. Well, it wasn't long before they actually moved to Netflix, much to dismayed and spoke too soon for that one. And sure enough, the bullshitting spin-off so-called The Casa Grandes, which is dead-ass boring spin-off show just like original ones. Maybe not boring the way it got better than Loud House and decent personality, especially Sid Chang. However, the rest of the main character is not that great. Not even character development that I don't give two shit about it, and straight up clichés stereotype Mexicans. And what ironic about is when SpongeBob's spin-off is officially greenlit way after someone named Steven Hillenburg, who died in also 2 years ago due to Lou Gehrig's disease, and said about SpongeBob is not getting spin-off or prequel before it just did, they freak out and railing about it to think that shit is destroying Steven's legacy and yet doesn't bat an eye on the Casa Grandes since Chris Savino's fired. Okay, it is me, or people straight up hypocrisy and double standard. I mean, Nickelodeon company made a dick move whatsoever, even they claim Steven changed his mind, which I doubt statement is true, but that no excuse for that one. Considering Ronnie and fanboys and fangirls demand to greenlit before finally did it to please them, and I don't appreciate it how company catering fanbase and doormat motherfucker the way people force them to make it. Otherwise, send death threats or blackmail if they don't comply. They have no right to beg them to make it happen toward unwanted show to spin off and yet whine over unwanted spin off whenever the creator said so. This is absolutely retarded, it is not? The thing is, Cartoonabo take zero kindly when people don't agree with them the way stereotype character has clichés personality and a cringe-worthy plot. That spin-off is dead-ass unnecessary. It would be enjoyable spin-off if it wasn't for annoying fan brats who were so fucking over-demanding and force others to have the same opinion as them that people no intention to watch bullshit the Casa Grandes. As well, one of the companies doesn't need to please the fanbase and let them make their own decision, but nope. Just catering fanbase and overexposed to death like hell. And that is enough rant about the Loud House's fandom, thank fucking God. Most of the fanbrats are a shitload of sick fuck, attention whoring, review poser whenever copy and paste reason from cartoon critics, SJW, etc. that they kill their interest and ruined for them. And most importantly, here is exactly the main reason why this show exists nowadays, considering the Loud House is a popular cartoon with all decent personality, humor, resembling the style work and diversity. An unwanted spin-off exists too due to obvious reason about Ronnie Anne's popularity bullshit and blah 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 alongside upcoming movie nonsense. Sometimes, I would tell all the fan brats to shut the fuck up and grow up. I don't know why they get so pissy when someone disagrees with them. Sibling fight, even it was a minor fight, did not win almost award show, and the list goes on for little things. I know. You get the point why I left this shitty fandom in a while back. I had it enough with this bullshit. While I'm not looking for new cartoons nowadays after Brain Dead Cartoonaba ruined for me, I thought the Owl House, Amphibia, Glitch Tech and some recent ones are a pretty good show in my book. It would Glitch Tech is the one save this show unlike the Loud House and at least gain interest and good story plot for cartoon, but too bad that shit 100% chance to ignore it and focus on a retarded cartoon. I hardly can't wait for these obnoxious fanbase out there probably went wail on me and send a butthurt comment, so I have to delete and roast them to death. Can't wait for it. I have nothing to say about it and goodbye for now.